I'm gonna bore you blokes or lasses for a couple of minutes, but I've got something to say about COVID. There's a new report released by the specific committee in America. Let me just read what I've written. Okay. People who were called conspiracy theorists during COVID to prepare to feel vindicated. There's been a 500-page report from the House Select Subcommittee on the COVID-19 pandemic. There's claims that, to start off with, that the FDA rushed the approval of the COVID-19 vaccines to meet the Biden administration's arbitrary mandate timeline. The report states that 2 leading FDA scientists warned their colleagues about the dangers of rushing the vaccine and their approval process, which would cause the likelihood of adverse effects, but they were ignored. The report also strongly criticizes the COVID-19 vaccine mandates, alleging they were not supported by science and caused more harm than good by trampling individual freedoms, harming military readiness, and disregarding medical freedom. Yet, as the report notes, those who questioned the mandates were often labeled as fringe or misinformed. Now, if anyone's wondering where I'm getting any of this information from, I will have the link at the bottom. I'm getting all this information from the actual 500-page report. I'm boring enough that I read through it all. Importantly, the report claims that public health officials engaged in a coordinated effort to ignore natural immunity from prior COVID infection when developing vaccine guidance and mandates. This contradicted the scientific evidence on the protective benefits of natural immunity, which the report says was disregarded and mocked by many in positions of authority. I remember that. You were told, oh no, anyone that said, oh, it's just a really bad cold and people need to get it to be better at, anything, just like a normal cold. They were told they were mad. The report further alleges that significant issues with the COVID vaccine injury reporting system and the government's failure to effectively, fairly, and transparently adjudicate claims for the people that the COVID-19 vaccine has injured. However, those who came forward with vaccine injuries were often stigmatized and treated with skepticism. I know someone who it was proven that the COVID vaccine was linked to something that went wrong with his chest. Just a wild side effect that happens to 1 in 20,000 people. But he will now forever have to breathe on oxygen because they took 4 weeks to take him in on it. They took 4 weeks to start listening to him on it because they just thought he was reading, what was the quote he said? What did he say? Reading right-wing media and not reading science. Ultimately, let me continue. Ultimately, the subcommittee's investigation uncovered a pattern of obstruction and lack of transparency from the Biden administration, CDC, and other entities when it came to congressional oversight of the pandemic response. Now, the full 500-page report from the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic is below. I've shoved in the link down there. That's just my 2 cents on it, but people who were told, I was banned on Facebook for I wasn't even that bad. I've got friends out there. My mate Mark will be, it's crazy. People were made to be an idiot, even if they were just trying to use their common sense. Like, I understand that it was unprecedented, but it was like we weren't allowed to use our common sense anymore. I was using the common sense of a 20-odd-year-old bloke. I wasn't an old lady. I was healthy. I didn't need to worry. I knew that. They told me that from the fucking start. Oh well, what's your 2 pence on it anyway, guys?